Good afternoon. I want you to imagine playing a game of basketball, but blindfolded. You wouldn't know where to dribble, where to pass, or where to shoot. It'd be pointless, even frustrating. Yet many of us navigate life this way, without a clear sense of purpose. It's like shooting shots in the dark, hoping one lands. I know this feeling all too well. For a very long time, I was just going through the motions, hoping something works out. But then one day, everything changed. I found some direction. It was just like ripping off my blindfolds. I want to share three stories with you today on how I removed my blindfolds and how you can too. My first story starts in Bloomington, Indiana, the heart of basketball country, where basketball is not just a sport, it's a tradition woven into the fabric of the community. My earliest memories of basketball were at the YMCA, where I learned to shoot, dribble, and even hustle. I also remember the electrifying IU basketball games at the Indiana University. Now, basketball culture was in many places, even the most unexpected ones. For example, my friends and I outgrew our old basketball shoes. We'd hang them on telephone poles or electric poles, a nostalgic nod to Michael Jordan in the movie Like Mike. Up till this point, I didn't notice the people who needed help the most, and my blindfolds were still on tight. Now, my second story starts in Tamil Nadu, India in 2020, where I moved, and thankfully, basketball moved with me. I started playing at the local community clubs and even the local YMCA, and the passion for the game was just as fierce as it was in Indiana. But something was different. While some courts have towering bleachers and have state of the art facilities and even wooden courts, others have cracked cement courts. They have lopsided balls or rusted rims. But once the game begins, none of it matters because the passion, determination, and love in each pass, dribble, and shot taken, it's the same everywhere. Because basketball is not about where you play the game, but instead, it's about why you play the game. Now, one day, during a heated match with my friends at the YMCA, the ball went out of bounds, and I chased after it and passed it to my teammate, and I helped my team win the game. But unfortunately, when I landed, my knees, they creaked underneath me. They buckled. And this injury, it sidelined me for months. Now, more than the physical pain, it hurt emotionally because I couldn't play the game that I loved. I still remember the day that I was forced to sit out, wishing that I could be back into the game. And then I noticed something truly heartbreaking, something that stung more than my own injury. I noticed that my friends and my teammates, they played with passion and determination in their eyes, their movements sharp and relentless. But the closer I looked, I noticed that some of them were barefoot, their feet slamming on the hard concrete. Others were worn out shoes or sandals, barely holding together. They played with lopsided balls on cracked courts, with rusted rims, lopsided, and broken backboards. Then I realized something. I was being held back by an injury, temporarily, but they were being held back in a lifetime struggle due to a lack of resources. And this stung harder and hurt more than any game that I ever missed. Now, my third story starts in India, but it combines Indiana as well. One day in practice, I noticed my teammate struggling. His shoes were worn out, so much so that they were practically sandals. He couldn't run as fast, he couldn't shoot as well, or play as good. And then I had a light bulb moment, a eureka. I remembered the unused basketball shoes, the outgrown basketball shoes in Indiana, on electric poles or just sitting around in closets. And then I remember the pair of shoes that I'd outgrown. And the next day I gave them to him. The look on his face was unforgettable. He played with newfound confidence, just like a pro. Now, this is how Shoe for Soul was born. It became a mission. And so far, we've only helped 5 players. And you might think that's a very small number. But here's the truth. The reality is that it's not just 5 players, it's 5 lives that have been affected. 5 lives who are being given a new light, some opportunity, some hope. This talk is not just about shoes. It's not about basketball. It's about what happens when you take a second to stop and look around you, to see the people who need help the most. Now, for me, it came to my knee injury. And at first, I was frustrated. I was angry. I couldn't play the game that I love. But then, eventually, it helped me to stop and look around me. And it made me notice something that changed me forever. Because it helped me realize that this just wasn't about the cracked courts, the rusted rims, or the lopsided balls. It was about the players who show up every single day, overcoming their challenges, showing up in sandals or barefoot, because their love for the game was unstoppable. However, a lack of resources held them back in ways that skill and passion alone could not fix. And this was a reality that I could not ignore. And this is how I took off my blindfold. Now, we all walk through life wearing blindfolds, whether it may be the blindfold of indifference, the blindfold of self doubt, or maybe just the belief that the problems we see in the world are too big for us to solve. But here's the truth. Once we remove our blindfolds, we realize that the world doesn't just look different, it is different. And when we see the world for the way it really is, we realize that we have the power to change it. We have the power to make a difference. We have the power to help. I'd ask myself, how can I help? What can I do? These simple questions turn into action. And what started off as a simple thought that no player should be sidelined by lack of resources, it turned into a mission. A mission where each shoe donated, it's not just another pair of footwear. It's a sign of courage, of opportunity, of hope. It's a reminder that skill and passion should never be limited by circumstance. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what is your blindfold? What are you not seeing? But more importantly, what will you do when you start seeing? Because change doesn't start with the big things. It starts with the small things. A single question, a single thought, a single idea, or even a single moment of awareness. Because one step at a time, it will turn into something bigger than any of us. Thank you very much.